Hey everybody, it's Thursday night and it's time to talk movies. I am your host, Vincent Didiano. Here with me, of course, is my comedic comrade, Eric Williams. Eric, how's it going, man?
Life, man. Life. Like, I feel more messed up this week than when we saw Christopher Robin.
Really?
I mean, we've got Millville days going on. I thought I was going to have to park in the Strip and walk over. Took me a minute to get here. I'm doubling up at jobs. I'm now working at the world famous Ham Bones.
I heard about that. Sherry, one of the lovely servers and friend of ours who works there. She was telling me about that. That's great, man.
It's employment, which I would say is great if it helps you prevent homelessness. If you're like employed and still like homeless, then we're having a Marxist conversation. How about you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I was busy today. I had to take our...
They can't see, but you are wearing a Superman.
I am,
they can see, actually. I lied. I just thought,
We're going to be talking a lot about this today.
The mic was hiding your beautiful pecs.
No.
And Superman emblem.
Oh, thank you. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
That looks really comfortable.
It's a nice shirt. It really is. Yeah. No. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, got to go over a quick something here. Last week we had some technical issues. We apologize for that. It was my fault. There was something I was supposed to check before the show. Good news about that is you didn't have to hear our lame movie review of Peppermint because there was really nothing to fucking go over on that movie. It was just such a standard, bland action film, which is weird. I checked Rotten Tomatoes on that. The critic score is like 13%, which is like horrible, but the audience score is like 83 or something, so I guess it's kind of doing well. I don't know.
Okay, so I think, I know we didn't get to cover it, but I feel like we kind of summed it up where I was like, I liked it, and you were like, it was generic, and I was like, it moved fast, and you were like, it moved too fast.
Yeah.
Like, people who go and watch movies as like their passion or their job and they get paid by someplace, like that was a run of the mill. They were like, people who wanted to see Alias kick some serious ass.
I'm
like,
sure. Yeah.
People got their Jennifer Garner hard on satisfied.
Yeah, and people still like her, even though like her movie career isn't doing too well, hasn't been doing well for like a while now. People really still like her.
I want to be clear. She's doing way better than us.
Yes. No. I'm not saying she's doing. Yeah, she's definitely doing way better than us.
They haven't all been Wedding Crashers. That's right.
No. Nothing about last week. So the good part was you didn't have to hear our lame movie review. Bad part was you didn't get to hear us give our respects to Burt Reynolds, who passed away last week. So we're just going to quickly say once again, Burt Reynolds, iconic movie star, so many films, Smokey and the Bandit, of course, I watched that all the time as a kid. Deliverance, right? I feel like I'm saying that. Yes. Deliverance, Boogie Nights, Longest Yard, the original Longest Yard. He wasn't
also in the Adam Sandler.
He isn't it, but that one isn't his movie.
We're not going to stake his career on that one.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
and of course, Striptease.
Striptease, yeah, he was in that movie. And he was in some movie, I just found this.
The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Oh my God, that's right, with him and Dolly Parton.
Yep.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? I didn't realize that song was that old. I didn't know that was a Dolly Parton song until I saw that movie like randomly a few years back. But anyway, so yeah, Burt Reynolds, rest in peace. Thank you for all the wonderful performances. You sure as hell ain't going to be forgotten anytime soon. But time to move on. Time to talk about what's going on in the movie news.
What's going on, Vincent?
Now, our first topic that we're going to talk about this is just it came out yesterday and it's blowing up the internet like and it's connected to what our middle segment was going to be about, and I didn't. And it's all lining up today on POVincent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard already, actor Henry.
Get ready for it.
Actor Henry Cavill, who's best known as playing Superman on the big screen right now, reportedly is leaving the character. Yes, the report is that he will no longer be playing Superman. Now, this is not confirmed. This has not been confirmed by the studio or Henry Cavill's people, his managers, publicists, whatever. But yeah, according to this, that there has been some contract issues with him and Warner Brothers over the character for multiple reasons. One, it's been said for a long time that Superman would be making a cameo in the upcoming Shazam film, the trailer for that came out this past Comic-Con. He is not in the trailer, Superman. We don't see it. It was supposed to be like some quick cameo, which is part of the Shazam animated film that came out some years ago, where Superman did play a role in that film. But it was assumed for this film that he was going to be a minor role. Now, apparently, he's not going to be in it or anything. There's multiple reasons for this. There's multiple reasons. An article on TheVerge.com goes over this, and I posted it to the POVincent Facebook page the other day. So if you're interested, go check that out. But there's multiple reasons. Reason one, DC has no Man of Steel sequel planned, at least for the next several years. There's no Man of Steel sequel. People have been asking over and over. They've been asking Henry Cavill. They've been asking DC. They've been asking, Zack Snyder. They've been asking Jeff Johns. When's the Man of Steel sequel going to happen? And they just haven't had an answer because they keep focusing on basically every other character they got. Not even just the big guys. Like we got the Batman movie, which that's Ben Affleck's probably out of that at this point. Because he's been reportedly having problems behind the scenes with them. He was originally supposed to star, direct, and write that Batman film, right? But then he pulled out as director, he pulled out as writer, and now him actually even being Batman's in question. That's been in question for a while, and now that Ben Affleck apparently is in rehab, they definitely probably don't want to continue with him as Batman. And now Superman, Henry Cavill's out, right? And it's like, okay, if I'm Henry Cavill, I'm like, you guys are only going to use me for cameos for the next 4 years at best, maybe a cameo in Shazam, maybe a cameo in another, like one of the films. Like, I got a career, from what I understand, his people's been working with him.
Does this actually bode well for DC? Because think about this: if they have Affleck and Cavill, like at this point, they could just reboot the whole DCU.
Well, that was a big rumor because remember last year they announced the title of the Flash solo film, which was Flashpoint, which was a comic book story in which the Flash he basically Back to the Future 2 the DC universe, but on crack, right? Because he totally screwed up. So it's and that gave birth to the reboot in the comics known as the New 52 universe. So a lot of people were thinking, they're going to use Flash to reboot it because things have been such a goddamn mess so far, right? And so one thing is just they're have no plans to use Superman for the next several years. Another factor is that Henry Cavill, this was announced a few weeks ago, has now landed the leading role in Netflix's new fantasy action series, The Witcher, based on the popular video game. He's going to play the main character in this Witcher TV series, which will probably keep, assuming it is a successful series, that will keep him busy for the next few years. So you got that factor, Henry Cavill trying to do other stuff. Famously, he did just in the latest Mission Impossible film, which led to the horribly distracting and disgusting CGI upper lip in Man of Steel because they wouldn't let him shave off the mustache he had for Mission Impossible, which is ridiculous. You're friggin' Hollywood, okay? You guys make people look like aliens, but you can't let him shave the mustache off and put a fake mustache on? It must have cost him $50,000 to digitally remove that damn mustache. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. So that's another factor.
Why couldn't we just have Superman with a mustache? I want to see.
You could do Superman.
Clark Kent with the creep stash.
You got.
Oh yeah.
People didn't trust him in Batman v Superman.
He's upholding justice, all right.
I want my Superman pure. But then the other factor is that they announced earlier, a few months ago, 1 or 2 months ago, that they're going to be doing a Supergirl movie, a Supergirl standalone movie, and people are
Say what?
Yeah. So. But that movie's gonna happen. But and there's been, according to this article on here, that the studio's putting more focus on the Supergirl film than anything related to another standalone Superman film. So you got that going on. So all those factors combined, you can see how things are getting difficult. That Henry Cavill, is trying to maintain a career. He apparently still wants to play Superman. He said in many interviews there's aspects to the character he does want to explore and perform as, but with DC not having any faith in the Man of Steel himself, Why would Henry Cavill just and Robert, once again, I want to stress that this has not been confirmed. This is like insider sources leaking the information kind of stuff, you know? And like another part of this story is like literally like hours after this was announced, there was a rumor of who Warner Brothers is looking at to replace Henry Cavill, and it's oh man, I'm forgetting his damn name. Crap. Hold on, let me bring it up.
Well, guys,
I'm an idiot. I'm such an idiot.
Not smart.
It's Michael B. Jordan. God damn it. Okay, so there we go.
You forgot about Killmonger? Never forget about Killmonger.
I know. I'm so because I love Michael B. Jordan. We were just talking about Creed. We were talking about a few weeks back how he was great in Creed, and the Creed sequel's coming out later this year, and I'm excited for it. Michael B. Jordan is one of the best young actors in Hollywood. The guy's got incredible talent. And here's the thing. We're just we're really a day away from the announcement that Henry Cavill is probably going to exit as Superman. He's not going to play the character anymore, right?
That's Vincent's big prediction.
Yeah. And so I don't believe this story about Michael B. Jordan being considered because it's just way too early at this point. They just announced that Henry Cavill is probably not going to be playing the character anymore, and already we're hearing these rumors. So, because I'm wary about rumors. You know, I've been worried about rumors for many years now, ever since after.
You got to get a Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. Anyway, yeah, because remember The Dark Knight, one of the best superhero movies ever, best Batman film, most people would say. One
of the best sequels of all time.
Oh, totally. It was an incredible film. I still remember opening night, saw it with my friend Jess. Jess, if you're watching, hey, how you been? Haven't seen you in a while. She moved out of the country.
Clearly, you're just going to have to top secretly go to China and kidnap her.
But anyway, after that movie came out, people were like talking about all these rumors that Angelina Jolie was going to play Catwoman in the next one, and Philip Seymour Hoffman was going to play the Penguin, or Johnny Depp was going to be the Riddler. It's like all these rumors that none of them turned out to be true at all. So I'm always wary of casting rumors, you know, right? Until it's confirmed, you know. And even if it is, like Michael B. Jordan, once again, great actor, great actor, but it's like one of those things that makes me think a black Superman. That's different. I think there is a black Superman somewhere in the comics, like from a different universe, right? And but I'm always worried about like when they change the gender or the race of a character. Are you doing it because you think that actor is the right actor to play that role, despite the difference, or are you doing that because you're Hollywood and you like to do what's trendy? You know, that's what scares me. I mean, Michael B. Jordan would probably be great in the role, but it's like with the Ghostbusters 2016 film. They went all female, and they cast great women. Like, you got Kristen Wiig, you got, you know, like Melissa McCarthy, great acting. But the studio obviously didn't put all their effort into that film because the script was so weak that those actresses had nothing to work with, and that's what made the film so bad, you know? It's like, are we really trying here, or are you just doing what's trendy, Hollywood?
I don't know, Vince. But I feel like again that they should probably just reboot the whole just reboot it. Like what if Cavill is leaving, Ryan Reynolds is already left.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
What does Ryan Reynolds have to do with the DC?
You're shitting me, right?
The Green Lantern?
Yeah.
I think he's been out for quite a while.
Well, yes, but my point is that like, so they've done a Justice League movie, and they didn't have the Green Arrow or the Green Lantern in it, like,
or Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, which you know is
all
stuff
green.
You expect.
Warner Brothers is anti-green people. Do you hear that? Rise up, green people. Rise up.
What is the matter with you?
What? It makes sense.
You're calling for the revolution of the placto-ducing, the
hey, man,
mitochondrial ectoplasm. What is it? Photosynthesis. That's the. I'm sciencey.
Hey, man, as a wise amphibian once said, it ain't easy being green.
Fuck you. But no, if there were, the thing is, if they're gonna keep going, and there is a Green Lantern core movie that's still like,
Tyrese wants to be in that, right? He wants to play John Stewart, the Black Green Lantern.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been pushing for it.
Okay.
which I'm down for that because that was a Green Lantern in the Justice League animated series, and he was a great character. So I'm down for John Stewart being.
So the Green Lantern is kind of like the Doctor Who of like DC character.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, do we want to switch the actor who's playing them whenever we feel like it? Can we like feasibly change the race or gender whenever we darn well please? Yes, we can.
Yeah. They have like what
3,600
3,600 members in the Green Lantern Corps. Isn't that the number? I think.
It's big. It's big. That's like basically DC's Nova Corps, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Well, yeah, they're intergalactic police force that just happen to have one of the greatest, most powerful weapons in all of comics.
Oh yeah.
The Green Lantern ring is just like, what can you imagine? It's as powerful as your imagination. That sounds like kiddie stuff, but that's it. It's powerful as your imagination. That's
I think one of my favorite ones was when they made Kyle something or other. He's literally a comic book artist.
Yeah.
Like that is just yes. Let me just draw this Green Lantern.
Can we see this on the camera? For those watching the live stream, that Eric was just like motioning, stroking himself. For those of you listening on the podcast, I'm normal. I just want to stress that. Anyway,
it's hard to tell. The monitor is censoring me from the camera.
I'm looking at the stream on our Facebook page. No, they could not see it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Williams was stroking himself to Kyle Rayner, the Green Lantern.
I stared Vince in the eyes. Hey, buddy.
What's that?
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to play this game of chicken? I don't think you do.
I don't either because we only got an hour to do the show.
In these eyes.
But anyway, we'll move on to the next news segment. We'll kind of go back to it a little bit later with another. But next up, according to an article on HollywoodReporter.com, Bohemian Rhapsody to world premiere at London's Wembley Arena. So for those of you who don't know, the iconic band Queen, Freddie Mercury was the lead man for that. There's a movie coming out about Freddie Mercury and how the band got together and the rise and all that stuff.
The popular biopic move.
Yeah. Yeah. And I forget the name of the actor, but it's the guy from Mr. Robot. Or if you're a Night at the Museum fan, he's like the Egyptian prince in that movie. That's what that's got him started. But yeah, no, good actor. According to the article, the venue is part of the same complex as Wembley Stadium, where Queen famously played to 72,000 as part of 1985's Live Aid concert. So this is very fitting for a world premiere to happen there. I mean, Queen was there was a ton of bands there at that Live Aid event back in the day. And apparently a lot of bands recall saying, when Queen got on stage, they blew everyone's fucking minds, right? That was just you got some veterans who were on that stage that night going up, and they're like, oh, goddamn, well, these guys are setting the bar, ain't they? So there's really not much to talk about with this. It's just, I just thought this would be a really cool thing to bring up, and considering pretty much everything else we're talking about tonight is science fiction to some degree, I figured it'd be we gotta ground ourselves with at least one story.
I like how our grounded story is about a rock star named Freddie Mercury. His life was just one intergalactic trip away from being Buckaroo Banzai in the 7th dimension.
Oh my God, I haven't heard a Buckaroo Banzai reference since Ready Player One.
I passed it up, I guess, when we talked about Peter Wells possibly being RoboCop again.
Again, yeah. Or at least saving in the film.
The Arthritis Edition.
He's all fucking rusty and shit.
He's just been in someone's garage watching Fox News for the past 30 years.
He keeps trying to use that spike thing that he used to hook up to computers, but it's it's just nothing but USB ports around him, and he's just breaking all the USB ports.
I'm going to fact check myself. It would be impossible for him to have been watching Fox News for 30 years unless they put the movie 10 years in the future or he was able to time travel.
Well, the RoboCop is set in the future from the movie. Yeah, no, it's set in the near future. It's not the far future. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, RoboCop was not an alternate timeline where we just had better technology in the 80s. No, it's set in the. I don't think they ever set a time, but it was definitely a somewhat futuristic,
Okay. One of those in the near future.
Yeah. Set in a future where, corporations are basically taking control. What a silly concept. Anyway. But anyway, yeah, so world premiere at Wembley. I think that's really cool. Oh, it says right here, Rami Malek is the name of the actor playing. That role was originally supposed to go to Sacha Baron Cohen, But he lost that role. I can't remember why. What was it?
Because God hates him.
Right. Oh, no. I remember why. One of the original members of Queen did not want him to be it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like that or like a family member. Somebody were like they did not want him to do it because he's more known for his comedy roles. They didn't want him to do it.
I called it. Most people don't realize God was one of the founding members of Queen. But that's how good Freddie Mercury was. He overshadowed God.
Well, he was one of the princes of the universe. Anyway. Highlander reference. Boo-boo! Anyway. Oh, my God. You like that one? You like that one?
Oh, man. Your nerd character just like your D&D nerd just hopped up to like level 458. I don't know how the levels work.
Mega magic missile. There we go. But man, I love Highlander.
Back down to level 40.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Whatever.
No, Highlander was silly fun. Even though you were ripping on the beginning of the second one, which I said was awesome, but then the movie as a whole was pretty.
Well, the first movie is good. It's the sequels that are horrible, and the TV series, which I know some people don't like, but I grew up watching that, so. Adrian Paul was my Highlander. Sorry, Christopher Lambert, you're awesome, but Adrian Paul will always be my first Highlander.
Did you ever watch Highlander the Raven?
I watched a few episodes back in the day. It seemed okay. It just, it's just,
Didn't jump out the wall at you.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I think that went like a couple seasons and then.
Yeah, and, it was, we can kind of keeping the franchise going. But anyway, we'll move on. Next story is Daredevil. Netflix's Daredevil, which is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're street-level heroes. It's been a while since Daredevil Season 2, which did well, but not as well as Season 1, mostly thanks to suddenly them switching focus from Punisher, which was awesome, to Elektra, which was awesome at first, and then they were like, oh, I don't like this character. This is not a good Elektra. But anyway... Next time we saw him was in Defenders, which I liked, but kind of like the later half was a little because like the villains, their grand plan was we don't like getting old. We want to stop that, so we're gonna have some NutriShakes or something. I don't know. And now we're Daredevil season 3 finally. Daredevil is to the Netflix Marvel series what Iron Man is to the movies. He got things started well. That first season of Daredevil is fantastic. I hadn't been that impressed by something in a while. It's just so good.
It's pretty good. Funny thing from that. Do you remember my opinion? Well, you can't remember my opinion, but that's besides the point. The end of the first season, like it culminates with him getting his suit made.
I remember this.
That first model of the suit was garbage.
The red suit?
That he's wearing at the end. I'm like 98% sure that what he wears in season 2 is not the same as his outfit at the end of season 1.
They make some modifications, I believe. Like the helmet definitely changes in season 2, but that's because Punisher shoots him point blank range with a gun, and he has to get a new helmet. But overall, I kind of like the suit.
I thought
it's not comic accurate. I will not deny that.
I thought there was some weird I thought they had changed it from the end of season 1 to the beginning of season. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, they kept it pretty much the same. I mean, but speaking of the suit, in this teaser trailer, we see Daredevil in his original suit that he used throughout most of season 1. The basically like I bought a whole bunch of like stuff off Amazon and like MacGyvered a suit together, which a lot of people love because it's one of those suits like he just bought stuff that covered up his face, his body. It was black. It was cool. It had the little like bandana thing going on in the back, and it was awesome. It looks really cool. In this teaser trailer, he's back in that old suit. He's in a confessional, confessing to we assume the priest from the show, but it's just on Matt Murdock. He's in the old costume. He's confessing about all the horrible things he's witnessed, and about how he's decided that darkness can only be fought with darkness. So this teaser trailer seems to indicate, because this is something that Matt Murdock, the character Daredevil, was struggling with so much in season 1, and they also explored it more in season 2 with his relationship with Elektra, which once again, I don't really care for Elektra. Not overall as a character. I understand that she's extremely important in the comics. I get that. I'm just saying the way she was executed in the show, I did not care for. So I don't want Elektra fans to freaking run down my throat because they're like,
so you hate Elektra in all forms.
The Stop it, Eric. You're supposed to be my backup.
You don't even like her in like Greek lore.
No, that Elektra's
Like,
fine.
I don't even like the Elektra complex.
I like Carmen Electra. She's pretty hot.
So that's all people with Elektra in the name are you? Attraction factors, Vince, come on.
Whatever.
She was also a great lifeguard.
She was. Oh, man. She can... I was going to say something corny as hell, but I'm not going to do it. She can give me CPR anytime. Anyway. Okay. But yeah.
Okay, creepy kid from Sandlot.
Yeah. So it appears to me that this season, Matt, at least... is going to give into this darker side, because that was something he struggled with in the show, because he is, despite it's the contradiction of his character. He's a Christian. He doesn't believe in killing. It's morally wrong, but he has this anger inside him, this rage, because he hates what these evil people have done to his home, and he just wants to take them out. But he was always fighting that, and so
like a pacifist in rush hour traffic. Trying to control the rage that boils beneath on the West End Bridge.
Goddamn West End Bridge. Been stuck on that motherfucker.
Goddamn all the bridges during rush hour. It's
I know.
a goddamn bottleneck. But that is not on season 3.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, the Pittsburgh bridges do not appear in Hell's Kitchen. That would be the weird season opener. The Pittsburgh bridges just manifest in New York out of nowhere. They're like, what's going on? Call S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, they're gone. Call the Avengers. Oh, they're depressed. Call somebody. But that's kind of interesting, because Luke Cage season 2 happened not too long ago, and that also dealt with Luke dealing with rage issues, and him for him it's more power. It's more Luke, learning not to power struggle within him. So this may be just a direction that they're going with the Netflix series. I'm not sure. Iron Fist season 2 just came out. I haven't got a chance to check that out. But yeah, so this teaser
Yeah, let me rush on that.
Have you watched some of it?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't have Netflix right now.
I
don't
have Netflix either. It's my friend's account.
I would figure out what else I could watch besides Iron Fist 2.
BoJack Horseman, that also came out.
Yes.
BoJack Horseman is a fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never watched BoJack Horseman, it's an animated adult comedy series on Netflix. They just started season 5. I love that series. It's great. Please check it out. It's not just a goof. It's a goofy show with animal people in it, but it also has great writing, great character depth. It's fantastic. But anyway, so Daredevil season 3 coming out. I'm interested. I love Daredevil. I really want to see his character progress. And if they bring back Elektra, Jesus Christ, I hope they fix that character, because they just don't
Maybe that character will fix you, Vincent. She's going to come and give you a makeover.
Assassins don't come to Pittsburgh. They just don't. Okay, so we're going to move on to our middle segment now. This is our discussion segment. So earlier we were talking about Henry Cavill and Superman. But remember, that's not the only DC universe going on right now.
It's not.
No. We have the CW's DC universe, also known as the Arrowverse. It started with Arrow, starring Stephen Amell. Then we had The Flash. Then, oh man, I almost forgot it. And then I think they did Supergirl. Legends of Tomorrow came after that. And then the last one that was Black Lightning. I was planning for us to talk about the Arrowverse already. I was going to have us talk about Arrow, and then next week I wanted to talk about The Flash, because the new seasons are coming out at the beginning of October. But with this whole Superman thing, we're going to talk about Supergirl. All right? So Supergirl premiered. Its premiere episode was garbage. It was just a horribly rushed mess. There was just so much going on in 1 hour. It was one of those things where clearly they should have done a 2-parter to start the show off. And honestly, it did not give me good hopes moving in. I really didn't start enjoying the show until about several episodes in. What's really helped...
You just worked your way through the pain.
I did.
You're like, I want to get my Supergirl dosage.
I do, because I was like, I like Arrow, I like Flash, I like this, but it's not letting me like it.
Okay, Rocky.
Oh, Adrian, you want a Supergirl? She can fly.
That needs to be a meme. Holy Christ.
Oh, Adrian, you see this kid, Ash? She can put monsters in bows. It's crazy. Huh? That's Rocky doing everything. Yo, Adrian, you see this kid Luke? He's got a sword made of light. It's weird, Adrian. Yo, check it out. That's gonna be a new segment. Rocky Balboa explains nerd shit.
Just for me. Just
for Eric.
Me. Yeah.
Just for Eric. You work so hard. I gotta give you something. I want to keep going now, but I gotta stop myself. Stop, Vincent. Stop. We'll do more Rocky later. Leave a comment down in the section. What do you want me to talk about as Rocky? And then we'll do it next week. What should Rocky talk about? What science fiction thing? Fantasy? Adrian, debate over this One Ring thing. It's weird. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I gotta stop now. I have to stop.
How does Rocky feel about the Predator?
Yo, Adrian, this big thing. It's got like I don't know. It's got like a crab face, but it can't be seen. What's... I think I'm gonna fight it. I don't know. I want to see that. I want to see Rocky versus the Predator. Not Sylvester Stallone in a Predator movie as a new. I want Rocky. Just Rocky. Before he fought Drago and got brain damage. Right before that. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. We'll do more next week. We got the goddamn giggles now. That's how the show falls apart. That's how the show falls apart. But anyway.
Pull it together.
Pull it together.
Pull it together.
Pull it together. Anyway, so moving forward. Now, eventually the show got better. One of the things that's helped Supergirl is the actress playing her, Melissa Benoist. She's done a really great job with the character. And that's the one thing with the Arrowverse. All like their main heroes, they've done very well with the casting. You know, I mean, overall, most of the casting, all these shows has been pretty well. There's nobody in particular that I haven't, like, hated. Maybe a few here, but most of the main characters are well casted.
Issues with casting in Smallville?
Well, Smallville's not part of the Arrowverse, but we. Okay, maybe there's right. This is separate. This is not a continuation of Smallville.
Okay.
Remember, people could be confused about it because Arrow started shortly after Smallville had its last season.
And is Gotham in the Arrowverse, or is that a separate?
That is a separate thing, as far as I know. The weird thing about that, there's been multiple times in the Arrowverse where they've hinted that Batman exists. Like, they've actually acknowledged that Bruce Wayne exists in their universe, but they haven't confirmed whether or not he is Batman. But they've made nods to it. In Supergirl, they've said Clark has that vigilante friend that people hate, and there's, like, the one time there's like, oh, what are you talking about? And, like, the character puts his fingers up to his head like bat ears, and they're like, yeah, that guy. But they won't say Batman. They're not. Here's the thing: they're not allowed to say Batman, or even they're not allowed to use Batman, let alone say his name, because of the movies right now. Warner Brothers has put that restriction on them. They're not allowed to use him. Maybe that's going to change now because Ben Affleck's on, but I don't know. But anyway, so in season 1 of Supergirl, we did not see Superman at all. The most you saw him was like at a distance or like blurry vision, so you couldn't see him. The reason was, once again, that they're restricting their use of the characters that are being used in the movies, right? So the only reason why they're allowed to use the Flash because they announced the Flash series before they cast Ezra Miller as the Flash. But in season 2, we finally got to meet Superman in the Flash interface, played by actor Tyler Hoechlin, which we spoke about a few weeks back on a previous episode. And once again, I want to say I thought his Superman in the Supergirl TV series was really well. Very nice performance, and they wrote him like Superman.
You would make him blush, man, if you were here right now. You just make old Tyler just all sorts of shades of Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Well, now.
Cherry Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So they. He was like a nice guy. Anyway, so he was in the first couple episodes where him and Supergirl teamed up against Metallo and that kind of stuff. Really, really cool stuff. But we didn't see Metallo.
Okay, I just had to.
Yeah, the kryptonite-powered cyborg Metallo.
I just figured someone turned like a whole thing of Rolos into metal, and he was just like a messed up candy bar of doom.
You know what? DC, all these comics have had some weird villains. There's like a villain in the Daredevil comics where his gimmick is he's got got like stilt legs. Like his legs just grow tall, and this Daredevil has to swing around him to like...
Giraffe man!
Yeah. Now, here's where things got bad. At the end of the season...
He can also digest leaves.
He's so green.
That's 2 powers.
Well, that is 2 powers. He's got koala DNA. Anyway, so at the end of season 2 of Supergirl, Superman comes back. He was gone for most of the season. He was just in the first couple episodes, and he went back to Metropolis because Metropolis needs him. Supergirl's in a different city. He comes back where there's an alien invasion going on. And that's usually what happens in Supergirl. There's usually an alien invasion. That's how they roll in Supergirl TV series. Of the Daxamites, who Daxam was Krypton's sister planet. Same solar system, and the Daxamites are now invading. And the Daxamite Queen, played by Terry Hatcher, who was Lois Lane in Lois and Clark back in the 90s, uses silver kryptonite on Superman to make him hallucinate that Supergirl is General Zod, one of Superman's greatest rivals. Superman and Supergirl fight. It's a big fight. They're smashing through buildings. They're punching each other with the force of like nuclear bombs, all that great like Kryptonian fight stuff. And Supergirl beats Superman. Flat out beats him.
What?
Yeah. Indeed. Now, some people might say, okay, he was under mind control. He wasn't in his correct state of mind, so it technically wasn't a fair, straight-up fight. But then in the episode, he says, no, I remember everything that happened while I was hallucinating. I was at full power. So the show is straight-up acknowledging that Supergirl is better in combat than Superman. She straight-up beat him. Now, this angered some fans because they're like, they should have tied or something should have happened that interrupted the fight, but there shouldn't have been a clear winner. Which I get. When you're doing team-up episodes where there's a movies or television, you don't want to make one character look better than the other. Now, there is some shit in the comics to back up Supergirl possibly being Superman in a fight. In the comics, it's been established that Superman consciously and even subconsciously holds back his full power because he's always afraid he's going to hurt people. Supergirl, because she arrived on Earth when she was a teenager, has more control and she doesn't really hold back as much. So there is that in the comics that she could technically be more powerful than Superman in that regard. But then later in the episode, basically, Supergirl, once again, she's the star of the show. She's the spotlight. Cool. It's her fucking show. But she has to make a decision where either she has to save the man she loves or...
Dun, dun, dun!
Yeah. She either can save...
Or she has to save a puppy.
That puppy is called Earth. Yeah. That sounds like a weird movie. A puppy called Earth. Anyway. But yeah, so she has to make this decision. Do I fuck the Earth and stay with my boyfriend, or fuck my boyfriend and save the Earth? She's Supergirl, so
That's a weird game of marry, fuck, kill.
Mon-El, Earth, or season 3 contract. So, basically, yes, she makes the tough decision that she has to, kick her boyfriend off the planet to save the Earth. I'm not going to go into details, but she makes that decision. And then towards the end of the episode,
Wait, her boyfriend's not a Kryptonian, is he?
No, her boyfriend's a Daxamite from the sister planet. He's the prince of the Daxamites, but he turns good. He's an asshole at the beginning of the season, but he turns good by the end of the season, and they're in a relationship. Yes. And so, now, after that whole happened, at the end of the episode, Superman tells Supergirl, I don't think I could have done that. If I had to choose between Lois and the Earth, he says I probably would have chosen Lois. So that's twice in the season finale, they are acknowledging that...
Oh, yeah. I just let her...
They are acknowledging that farts are nasty. No, they're acknowledging that Supergirl is better than Superman. She's not only can beat him in a fight, but she can make the harder decision than Superman. So this pissed off a lot of people. It's, it's Supergirl's show. She's the hero. She should get the most spotlight. Most of the drama should be what's happening with her. Fair. But a lot of people are like, she had to beat Superman in the fight and in the tough decisions. They're just basically making Supergirl look way better than Superman, that he was just there to be okay, you're better than me. And here's the fucked up thing about that for me. Season 1 was all about Supergirl. She comes out to the world, right? I'm Supergirl. I'm a Kryptonian. I'm a Superman's cousin. But a lot of her character arc was proving that she's just not a female version of Superman. That she is a hero in her own right, and she should be judged by that, and not just, oh, you're Superman with boobs, right? And by having this fight with Superman, you're judging her based on her male counterpart. You're basically like undoing what you were doing in season 1. Why would you do that? From a writing point of view, that don't make any sense to me. You know?
I feel like they were probably just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have Supergirl beat Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think some people will like it? Yeah, you think some people will get pissed? Yeah, will they still tune in and then make a lot of noise about it? They'll start drawing us free publicity? Yeah, start shooting immediately.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of weird. Now, Superman's next appearance in the Arrowverse has been announced. They're doing another crossover event where all the shows, all the heroes come together from various shows. They've done it twice already. First crossover event sucked. Second crossover event was awesome. That was last year's crossover event. This one, they have announced in this crossover event, they will be introducing Batwoman. Not Batgirl, not Barbara Gordon, Batwoman. And that'll be played by actress Ruby Rose. And they have said that Superman will be appearing in this, and they'll also be introducing Lois Lane in this crossover event. And so they haven't announced who they've cast as Lois Lane. But with Henry Cavill stepping down as Superman, I am hoping this lifts the restrictions on Tyler Hoechlin's TV Superman. Because if we're not going to see any more Superman in the movies, why not go with a Superman that people have generally liked? They didn't like how he was treated in the season 2 finale of Supergirl, but they generally liked the Superman. I hope he gets a spin-off series, or maybe he gets like a little TV movie. But I want to see more of the Superman because he acts like Superman. He's inspiring. He treats everybody with respect, value. He doesn't like blow off saving the world because he's like, do people want me to save the world? It's like, yes, people want you to save the world. They just want to know if they can trust you or not, you jackass. To get the fuck up, put your cape on, get the fuck out there. I'm sorry. One of these days.
Calm down there, Vincent. Oh. Do you need a yogurt and granola?
No,
do you need maybe some apple slices?
I don't know. We ain't got time for that.
Did someone bring up Batman versus Superman? Like that is our American tragedy on this show.
It is. It just really is. It's
movies worse than that. Did you ever watch American Ninja 4?
No, I'm assuming this is from the 80s.
I believe so.
Sounds like a canon film.
It's one of those movies you watch at like 1 a.m. and you're like, this was still not worth it. Like when you feel overcharged for free.
Yeah. Ninja movies were huge in the 80s and into the early 90s. You'll see
American Ninja.
American Ninja. A white man trained by a Japanese guy because...
Except he wasn't actually trained because we didn't have enough time in filming, so a white man throwing people a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll cast a Japanese guy, but it's like... How much does he want? If he wants not a lot, well.
Vincent, what do you think of the movie that we saw today?
Yes, it's time to move on for that. Enough talking about that other stuff. The Predator, directed by
not Predator.
Not
Predator 2.
The Predator.
Yes.
They put a "the" in front of it instead of just calling it Predator 4
Do
or
you
5.
think the next one will be These Predator?
These Predators, those Predator, that Predator. Is that a Predator? We don't know. So. Yes, a new Predator film came out. It was directed by Shane Black, who was one of the writers on the original Predator and played the character of Hawkins. He was the character part of our Schwarzenegger's group that had the glasses and made the joke to Billy about pussies. We say so much. I don't know why I didn't think I couldn't say that. I don't know. But yeah, so now he's directed other films before. And
Wait, did you say he acted in it too?
He was in the first Predator. He was a writer in the first movie, and he played the character of Hawkins. He's the one that wears glasses in the original group.
Okay.
Yeah, he's that guy. So he came back to direct this movie. Shane Black has directed. Let me bring up his filmography here. Because what else did he do?
He did the original Lethal Weapon. What's amazing about Shane Black doing this is that the movie didn't take place on Christmas. He did the original Lethal Weapon. He did Iron Man 3. Yeah. He did The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Wait, directing?
Yeah.
Not according to IMDb. According to IMDb, his director credits are Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, Edge, The Nice Guys, that Ryan Gosling movie. This, and then he's got an upcoming Doc Savage. Maybe as a writer, because his writing credits. Yes, he was a writer on Lethal Weapon. He was not a director. Yeah, writer on all four of them, all 4 Lethal Weapon films. I forget about 4 because it was just it should have been great.
They were like, hey, we've got Jet Li, who looks like he could easily kick the ass of both of our protagonists.
And he did. Multiple times, except for when they've, I'm going to shoot you with a gun underwater. That's our thing. Yeah. But anyway.
That's how you really feel, Vince. Don't hold back.
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, so this movie is set like we got in this film. Two predators have come to Earth. One is chasing the other. Once again, one crash lands and his gear is found by a army officer. Like, is he a mercenary or is he still with? I feel like he seems like he's still with the army, but he does the shit that they don't want to do. It's kind of sketchy. He seems like he's a mercenary. But
he's not a mercenary. He works for he's a sniper for the military.
Right.
And he was there when shit went down when the Predator crashed in Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Eric, Benjamin Nicholson wants you to know, nice haircut.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah, you saw that? Okay.
I may have replied. I may have commented.
Jill Toto. Oh my God, sound! Yay! But anyway, so this Predator movie is like, and the Predators are chasing through this small town because our main character sent the Predator weapon gear mailed it to his hometown, but his family accidentally got a hold of it, so now his little boy
mailed it to a P.O. box. Yeah. But when the post office guy shows up, he's like, apparently your dad stopped paying for this, so it got canceled, so we're bringing it here.
Yeah. So the little boy who has Asperger's, his son gets it, and he's like, but
they were real subtle about that. They were real subtle.
Yeah.
Literally, there's a moment where bullies come in and they're just like Asperger's, like.
Actually, I think they say they're hungry for Asperger's.
Yes.
And they said Asperger's, not Asperger's. They didn't say the word right. I know I'm not saying it right, but at first I didn't. I thought they were saying like, I'm like, ew, what is this? This is like, what? These are like eighth graders. It's getting real rapey all of a sudden. I'm like, what's going on? But I did like the little joke at the beginning. There's like minor spoiler. There's like the sign outside the school. It's like PTA meeting, parents and students welcome. But students was abbreviated to STDS, so it looks like STDs, like parents and STDs welcome. I think that was intentional. I think that's kind of Shane Black's humor. But anyway, yeah, so it's Predators and the guy, he's trying to like save his family now because like, the Predators after them because they got the Predators gear, and his only allies are a group of like dishonorably discharged military guys who all have various mental illnesses due to their time in combat, and they're called the Loonies. That's their nickname. They're just so, and the one thing that's definitely different about this Predator film compared to other ones is this one it's heavy in comedy. It really is. None of the other Predator films have this many jokes. It's. I said it to you after we watched the movie. I'll say this: it's a better Suicide Squad than Suicide Squad because that's what it is. It's just like these are the guys that nobody cares about. If they fucking die, who cares? They're weirdos or something, and they're fighting the Predator. And there's a joke in every scene, like Keegan-Michael Key, who's in the film. I totally expect him to be the funny one in the film. Now, he's best known for doing his comedic stuff, but so many of the characters were like dropping these weird jokes, like oh god, what's his name? Thomas Jane.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
He's in it. He's got
the Punisher.
Yeah, the first live action Punisher. Well, the second live action because Dolph Lundgren was the first. Thank you.
Call him Drago, please.
Yeah, Drago. This man is like a piece of iron. I like one of my favorite lines in Rocky IV.
I want to see you do like both parts of like the last 15 minutes of Rocky IV. Just like I would actually pay tickets to see that.
I fight for me. I fight for myself. That's what Drago said, right?
Isn't that one of his like 4 lines in the entire movie?
Yeah, he doesn't say a lot. If he dies, he dies. This won't look bad for me. But anyway, so yeah, it's definitely it's a comedy action film because the first Predator was like 80s strongman action movie, and like the second half was like a horror movie where like the slasher villain was killing 80s action heroes basically.
Yep.
In that way, it's a very unique film.
R.I.P. Apollo Creed, who first died in the Predator.
Yeah.
I mean Predator. My bad.
See, that's why we use numbers, people. Okay? Predator, Predator 2, Alien versus Predator, Alien versus Predator Requiem. Just say 2. Just call it 2.
What was the? Don't forget Predators.
Predators, which I actually like Predators.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was solid.
It didn't do well, and a lot of people give it crap. But it wasn't fantastic, but it was good. I would label it as good.
I thought Topher Grace's turn there was fantastic. Oh yeah, I'm dropping bombs. Dropping bombs
like how Topher Grace bombed his career. Oh! God damn it, I'm good. No.
He was phenomenal as David Duke.
He was
really not what you want to stake your career on.
I know, but he was good.
No, he was really good.
Yeah, he was good in BlacKkKlansman. I'll give him that. Which is good. He's not a bad actor. He just seems like he's made some bad choices after that 70s show.
Is it nomination times for the Oscars yet? We're gonna hear about BlacKkKlansman again. It's coming back.
Right. So this movie, and unlike the other Predator films, where over the course of the movie, like the main characters slowly get knocked off. For a while, I was starting to question whether who was going to die. But yeah, I don't know. What did you think of the special effects? I think I felt some special effects were good and others not so much.
This felt like the best sci-fi movie ever. And by that, I don't mean science fiction as in the genre. I mean sci-fi as in the TV channel.
Yes.
Like, it was just like, they got some good special effects and then some of their usual special effects.
Yeah. Like, for instance, there's 2 predators in this film, which they just flat out admit in the movie. Yeah, we've named the species Predator. Even though... It's just like whatever. Okay, we're calling them predators. There's a normal predator, like the kind we've used to see from the movies, big, strong. It's got the shoulder-mounted cannon that follows its line of sight, and it's a guy in a suit. And I love that. I love a guy, animatronic face moving all around. He's in a suit. It looks real. He's actually physically interacting. You don't need CGI. And then there's some super predator who's like 11 feet tall, and he's completely CGI and. He kind of looks real sometimes, but other times he doesn't. It's not like full-blown uncanny valley, but it's like I can see the edge of the valley. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then he's got like some predator dogs that are literally just giant dogs with predator heads.
Okay, yes. Although the predator dogs, the one predator dog was one of my favorite things.
Oh yeah, I don't. Dude. We're gonna go. Yeah, the one dog like befriends the humans because they accidentally lobotomized it. I'm like, the fuck?
It was.
And it was weird because there was a normal dog that shows up and you're like, oh, this dog's gonna befriend the little boy. With, it was the Aspergers. God damn it, Aspergers.
Perverts.
Like those boys who were hungry for Aspergers. We're horrible. Anyway, so I want to wrap this up because we got some other stuff to talk about before we end the show. But yeah, so my recommendation to see the movie or not, I think general audiences will like it. I do. I think it'll do well with general audiences. If you're a more frequent moviegoer like me and Eric, where you see movies like at least once a week, you're probably not going to like it because it's the most un-Predator film in the franchise. It's not horrible, but it's not... I'll say this.
Don't pay for this movie.
Yeah, if like you got a friend and he like owes you a favor and he's like, let's go see a movie, whatever you want, man, I owe you.
Okay,
you got me a deal on my...
talked about the Solo, the Star Wars movie Solo, being like awkward with the amount of like jokes that they had worked in. Yeah. Like this felt like that on like Angel Dust. Like,
yeah,
it was just like the whole tonality was awkward. Having a 9-year-old kid in there.
Yeah, like a kid in a Predator film. Like the closest we came to was in the second one where the lady turned out to be pregnant and the Predator didn't kill her because of that. But this Predator didn't give a shit. The Super Predator he wasn't even there to hunt. He was there to like. Spoiler alert, I'm just going to spoil it. The Predators are going to start a war with humanity. That's how they end the film. Like, there's a setup for a sequel where they're going to start a war with us because we're killing ourselves off with pollution, so they're going to ID for us. They're going to take over the planet because our atmosphere is now more like theirs. So, it's And then they set it up with, like, we're going to fight them. Which is how they ended Independence Day 2, was like, we're going to start a war with the fucking aliens. They pulled it in Independence Day 2, people. Don't ever pull it in Independence Day 2. You cocky motherfuckers. Anyways, yeah. Go see this film if you're really bored and your friend owes you a favor because he got, it's like, you owe me, I want to see this movie, buy me the ticket. I got you a great deal on snow tires last year. You fucking owe me. I don't know. But anyway, that's our movie review for The Predator. Yeah, Anyway, so a couple quick announcements. Announcement number 1. Before we end the show off today, last week I launched the POVincent Patreon page. If you don't know what Patreon is, for a lot of people who are trying to make a living online with podcasts or like YouTube videos, it's advertisements, at least online, have not produced as much money as it used to. So Patreon is a way for fans to support their favorite creators. If you enjoy the show, please head over to patreon.com/POVincent, where you can donate money to the show to help us support the show, to help us keep the show going, and oh, damn, I'm tired. It's been a long day. But anyway, yeah, if you can contribute any money to the show, $1 or whatever, we'd greatly appreciate it because, this is something we're doing in our spare time. We would like it to become more. Me and Eric, we both have jobs that are paying the bills. I don't completely hate my job, but my job is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. So if you can, help support the channel, me and Eric both greatly appreciate it. It's a great way to help support shows. If you have a lot of people are using Patreon now, so greatly appreciate if you head over to patreon.com/POVincent and help us out.
How would Rocky feel about it?
What?
How would Rocky feel about it?
No, Adrian, so I don't even have to fight anymore. People just give me money. It's like an email, but like a tip jar. It's like an e-jar or something. I don't know. Adrian. All right, you died in the last film. All right.
That was like 4 films ago.
No, that was 2 films ago. The last one was Creed, and the last one before that was Balboa.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the second one hasn't come out yet, did it?
No, Creed 2? No, Creed's later this year. Second we need to announce is September 30th is International Podcast Day. And Pittsburgh is going to be taking part of it in a big way. We're going to have the first Pittsburgh PodCon. The River's Edge Network, which is what we're on, and with Sorgatron Media, they're coming together to throw the first Pittsburgh PodCon. It will be held in Lawrenceville at Spirits Hall. That's right above Spirit Bar, where a lot of Lawrenceville, a lot of Pittsburgh people go to hang out. So it's going to be up there in the hall section. It's going to be me, and it's going to be us, the POVincent crew, and over 30 other podcasters. Many podcasters. There's going to be a River's Edge table there with some of the other members of the River's Edge Network. Mike Sasson and Alex are probably going to be there for the Mike Sasson show. There's going to be podcasters from local networks like the Pittsburgh Science Center. They're going to have their podcast table there. So it's going to be everybody from little guys like us who are trying to work their way up to big organizations that are throwing their podcast. September 30th, Spirit in Lawrenceville. Please go check it out. We'll be there. Come hang out, learn about us. We learn about, other podcasts. It's going to be a great time. But anyway, I think that's all the time we got. Eric, you got anything else to say before we sign off?
This Saturday, I'm hosting a free show at the Parkway Theater out in McKees Rocks. Headliner, the hilarious Tim Carnett comes in from Cleveland, and I've got Joy Person, Zach Seapley on the show. So that's free at 8 o'clock. Please come out and join. Vincent, you look marvelous.
Thank you. You look great too. The haircut really is nice. It does work for you. It's like it's like Shaggy if you got like a desk job. I don't know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in. As always, we hope you enjoyed. Please, if you let us know what you thought of The Predator if you saw it. But until next time, thank you for using things from our perspective. Take it easy.